Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Out of the Box. I'm May.
I'm G.
And today we're going to talk about what it truly is like to make content as twins.
Yeah.
And how that has negatively or positively or both affected that, like, our relationship.
Yeah. So if you are any sisters or siblings who are watching this right now and you're deciding on maybe starting a business with each other, here is how it's going for May and I.
So let's just talk about what it's like to make content together, just in general. So what we like to do is kind of, at the beginning of every single day, we talk about how many videos per social media, I guess, app, what would you call it? An app form. We will discuss how many videos need posted that day, when they need to be posted that day, and then from there, we will start our scrolling or we'll start filming ideas that we already previously have.
Yeah.
Some can be really easy, like the 30 seconds, 20-second videos. Others take hours to make because it's our own original content and ideas. And that takes longer, obviously. But what other people don't realize is the editing aspect. I think editing takes a lot of time. We are very lucky to have a great team behind us, a great editor behind us who does help on longer form videos.
Like this
one.
Yeah.
But for the ones that we upload daily, that's just G and I. So if there's any in-text, the timing, sometimes people don't realize that in-text makes a big difference because in-text is what's the trend.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to be relatable. You want to be funny. You want to be entertaining. But you also don't want to,
you don't want to block the screen.
Yeah.
And have it just be words, because people when you go to a movie, and that's something that I've realized recently with our not longer form videos on TikTok, but our vlogs, they're 1-minute videos, but the way that you edit and the way you film and the transitions within that 160-second video can really make it or break it for your viewers. Whether it's interactive, is it clickbait in the beginning like a hook, but then also the editing style, it has to be flow. It has to flow smoothly. Just like if you are watching a movie.
I don't think I thought of that when we first started.
I didn't either.
Just how much and critical it is to be aware of just very small, minor details when it comes to editing, when it comes to filming, the clothes that you wear, because you don't want to be washed out, or you want good lighting all the time, because that makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
But let's move on to some advantages of being a content creator with your twin. I think the first thing is you're a built-in collaborator. You're here all the time. We can bounce ideas off each other. We can use our personalities as a niche type of thing. And you kind of split the work, but you also don't. I'm not really sure how it would be by myself.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a lot easier to collaborate. Obviously, it's as if you're in a corporate job and you have a desk partner right there and you guys are kind of doing the same work and splitting it. But it really does depend on the type of content. I feel like original content will take a lot longer, especially it depends on who's coming up with it. And then we kind of do our own separate ideas and thinking, and then we'll bring it together and be like, do you like this idea? Do you not like this idea? I have a 40-second video idea, but could you help with the extra 20 seconds so we can maybe make this a longer form video? And so a lot of it starts with just personal stuff, and then we'll bring it together if we want to make it longer, or just techniques and editing styles are different, obviously, because you think of one way and a different vision, and I bring a different vision to every single video.
And I think that's where we butt heads the most.
That could also be a negative, yeah.
Sure. It can be a negative there too, because we would butt heads a lot because we are coming from two different perspectives. We have two different ideas. And when we try to bring them together, there's a lot of compromise that needs to happen. G and I, we already know we don't have the best communication skills. And so that can also bring tension. But there's also some things that each of us do that do not help the situation at all. And we try to work through those and everything, but you're always going to have a negative when working with a sibling or with a close family friend or just family in general, it can get messy, and I see why it can get messy at times, but I don't think it's ever going to get to the point where it will like break our relationship.
No, because at the end of the day, we both have a common goal.
Yeah.
We want this to be our job in 10 years. We want this to be fruitful. We want this to be something that's financially stable or stabler, because we're financially stable, but like more stable, you know?
Yeah.
And so you always have goals, and I think we're always very concrete in those together. And so, yes, we do bicker a lot and we butt heads on content or editing and whatnot behind the camera sometimes that you guys don't see. But the majority, we really do produce content that we both like and we both agree on, and in hopes it reaches that final goal that we both truly want.
Yeah, exactly. I think another advantage is like our chemistry.
Yeah.
We can easily feed off of each other because we know each other so well.
Yeah.
So like pranks or random skits or things that are funny, we just grab a phone and we start rolling. I think honestly that is our best content, just because one, we don't know what the other person's going to say, and because we know each other really well, we are able to do the back and forth and make it genuinely funny without even noticing.
Exactly. And that's just like the sibling like chemistry too. And what you just said, like I want to point that out again, is me and you have known each other since birth.
Yeah.
And so we've gone through the same experiences, maybe different perspectives, but same experiences. We're blood sisters. We share common things, like interests are very much the same, for same friends. We're just all the time around each other.
Yeah.
And so that can be a negative and a positive, just in the fact that like we're always together, so we can always make content. But then the negative side is we're always together.
And I think another advantage for us as twins being content creators is something about being twins on the internet people find appealing.
It's a niche in its own. Like you said earlier in the episode, it's just so weird and so fascinating that people just, like, how can one egg split into two, get 3, 4, 5, whatever, because there's quadruplets out there.
Yeah.
And quintuplets. Like, it's so interesting to have, like, a clone in this day and age. And people think it's very rare, but it's not. Being a twin is not rare now. Maybe back then when we were younger, but especially with IVF and stuff like that, people are having twins easily.
Yeah.
And so it's just super interesting on that aspect of like, how can two people be so completely different?
And I think
that's what captivates people.
And I think that's what made people be interested in us in the first place. Like we said in many videos and skits where people assume we are the same at first look, but then you realize through the content, through our clothes, through our personality, what you see is what you get in real life. So we try to be very transparent and real as much as we possibly can. We're not like other creators where we're different off camera or on camera. It doesn't really matter if the camera's on or off. And we also try not to edit too many things in our content. If the only thing we're editing is transitions, or like, again, if we're setting up a camera and we're bickering, like that type of stuff. But we don't really get rid of the main content.
Yeah.
Ever. We don't have to redo it or act a certain way. So since we talked about some advantages, let's talk about, I don't want to say disadvantages, but like struggles that we have had or come across being twins and content creators together.
The biggest one is being around each other 24/7.
Yeah.
Point blank.
I agree with that one. I also think a big one is disagreeing on content that we are making that day or want to make. I don't want to put you on blast. I think sometimes G has unsaid expectations when it comes to editing styles and like content creating that she does not communicate that well with me. So then it leads into more fights that we have.
It's the fact that I can edit it like that and she doesn't take the time to want to learn it, because if I can edit it, why do I not just edit it right away?
And see, and
that
I mean,
pisses me off.
But see, I'm coming from the place where like I've tried to edit everything and try to do it the same way. It's just not the same way, so then it just ends up in an argument. and we're going to argue probably after this, but
I don't care. But it's just like certain things like that where it's like one twin is better at something and the other isn't.
What's another, not negative, but struggle that we run into consistently?
Somebody always needs to be a boss. I have been the one that has been considered bossy throughout this entire experience just because, somebody has to step up and take authority versus both of us just being indecisive and sitting there and trying to think and not moving. So like in those certain circumstances, I feel like I do step in and I'd be like, no, we actually are doing this because we have to make a move. We can't just be sitting here. And so someone always has to step up and be the boss and tell the other sister what to do in certain circumstances.
Which means then the other one is always compromising. No matter what it is, even if like the vibe or the content is just not, you're not feeling it, you still have to do it and you still have to compromise. But I think that like you said, it's another thing that we consistently run into.
Where someone constantly has to be the one telling the other one what to do. Whether that's one day you're telling me what to do with a content aspect and me telling you what to do with an editing aspect. So it really does switch on and off on who is boss and who isn't on certain circumstances. Other days, we can work perfectly fine without having a single argument.
I think another struggle that we have is burnout. And either both of us have burnout, one of us has burnout, and the other one is perfectly fine and okay. I think coming from me, since I'm not neurotypical and not medicated, that's also on me. But it makes life harder. I'm not going to use it as an excuse, but it's very hard to work with someone who's neurotypical every single day, day in, day out. And especially doing this type of job and not doing like a normal 8 to 5 job where you can clock in, focus, clock out, and not give a damn. But I think those days where like I'm so exhausted, I don't think I can film anything. Whereas in G, to her, it's just another day. And I'm just like, I do not know how to keep up with you.
I don't either in some stances. I think when I get to that burnout period, I know when you do because you tell me verbally, like, I cannot do it. We're doing bare minimum today. And that's valid. And then for me, when I face burnout, I think I just grind even harder, which is not good because I don't take a break. And that also makes it a little bit more difficult. But overall, I think we've done well. There's places for improvement, but if you don't have to improve on anything, what are you going to do? Yeah. Like, you can't be perfect. No one's perfect. Not every single video is going to be perfect. So I think learning how to accept the uncertainty, but then also kind of pushing back the standards of like content creating because it is so hard being on this side of the camera.
Yep.
And so when people have high expectations too, and you see them and you're like, fuck, I have to hit that every video. It really is mentally draining.
Or like constantly comparing, like you mentioned. I think that's something like a lot of influencers will say. Like they've gone down deep holes trying to compare themselves to other people and wondering like, why is this working for them? Why is it not working for me? How are they hitting the algorithm? Why am I not hitting the algorithm? What is different that I'm doing that they're not doing or whatever it is?
Which is so valid. We felt that too some days.
And we still sometimes feel it where we're just like get so frustrated with something that's going on or things that are happening and we're just like, I just don't get, like, is it on us? Are we doing something wrong? Is this just how it's gonna be or like whatever? Because like G said, there is no playbook. There is nothing that you can go by. We do have a great team behind us who can give us tips and tricks, but again, they don't know every single thing.
And there's no right way to like find the algorithm. You just have to find it on your own and it's random. And it's always going to change. And that's what's also really frustrating too, is because what if you do so well on a certain algorithm and then it just switches and then your videos do shit on that other one? So you have to tweak it and see what the right golden spot is.
It's very complicated when you do truly think about it. And if you're not an influencer, if you're not a content creator, it's just things that you don't have to consider.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of the judgment will come in, because they do not consider those certain things.
Yeah.
And it makes sense because it's not your job. You don't have to think about it, but content creators have to think about these things constantly, and it can be very draining.
Yeah.
But let's move on from struggles to just like funny behind the scenes chaos. Who do you think, while filming, breaks more in skits or messes up the most?
We both equally mess up a lot. If we're gonna put them in like different sections and categories, dances may messes up more than I do.
I want to say I am athletic, and I am, what do you call it? Not skilled. What is it called? Where you have like good feet and hands.
Coordination?
Yeah, coordination. Thank you.
Yes.
I want to think I have coordination. In sports, I do. In dancing, absolutely not. I cannot tell you the difference between my left and right foot or my left and right shoulder or hands and whatever. And I get the same constant comment where it's just like, why does May not have any facial like expression? And I'm like, if you can zoom in on my face or just look straight at my face, I'm trying to remember the steps to what we have to do.
Yeah.
And then when you look at G, I don't know what you think about when we are doing dances or certain things you have to remember to do.
I don't even remember. I think I'm singing the song.
Yeah, but see, I cannot multitask when it comes to learning a dance, learning the song, and then dancing and singing at the same time.
But see, that's where, like, I think that's what confuses me, because I was like, I sing the song because I know the move that goes with the word of the song. So that's why I have to sing, is because when I sing the song, I know when the next move is because I'm singing it.
And see, for me, it's one or the other.
Yeah.
Do I want to get the dance moves, or do I want to, like, lip sync the song perfectly well?
Yeah.
Obviously, there's positive and negatives to this job and working with your sibling, not a twin. But I think, all in all, I think we're doing a good job. I think there's areas to improve and things, but I think it will
come with time.
But that's really all I have for this episode, since a lot of you guys are interested in our like twin relationship and our twin dynamic and how it affects our job and our work. And I think that's where we're going to end this episode. So we hope you enjoyed it.
Like, comment, and subscribe. And like always, keep on listening, keep on loving, and we will see you guys in the next episode.
Bye.